Good afternoon. Well, good try. We're going to have to try that again, though. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. That was excellent. My name is Jim Weaver. I am the Executive Director of the Central Oregon Community College Foundation, and I cannot tell you well enough what it means to me to stand before you. It means so much to me because there are two events during the year that I so look forward to. One was held last weekend, COCC's graduation. It is so inspiring to see all the graduates. And that is where you students in this room, that's where you're bound. You're bound for graduation. And I'm going to say to every one of you, never ask yourself whether I should walk at graduation. Walk. Because it really expresses so well what you're about. The other event I so much look forward to is this event, the President's Scholarship Lunch. And there are three reasons why I so look forward to it. First, the lack of ambiguity. Here's the truth of life. There's many situations that are not as clear as we would like them to be. And part of life is simply walking through those situations and being grateful as things become more clear. In this room, there is no ambiguity. What you are here to represent and what we are so pleased to thank you for is what your scholarships dollars did. You made education possible. One of the scholarship recipients, Sonia Little Deer Evans, who spoke a couple years ago, is now the field service manager for the Deschutes County Juvenile Corrections Department. She was the 2012 Probation Officer of the Year, and she said it well. She said, education was the one door I could not walk through on my own. Ladies and gentlemen, you have opened so many doors. Second reason, courage. Students in this room, I so admire what you are about. And one of the things I've come to learn over my years at the foundation is that you just are getting through your life and you don't look at yourselves as being courageous. You're simply doing what you know needs to be done. But make no mistake, you are courageous. You know where you're going. You're determined to get there. And this room is partly about honoring what you are about, and you are joining with so many people who believe in you. Thank you for your courage. The third, kindness. How many in this room can think back on their life and recall a time where your life was changed because of the kindness of another human being? How many? All of us. All of us. When you boil what our life is about, one of the most central tenets is kindness. And in this room, we have one of the most profound expressions of kindness possible. And the way that every one of you, by giving to scholarships, you have changed lives forever through your kindness. Henry James said, 3 things in human life are important. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind. The third is to be kind. The best way, though, for you to appreciate the kindness and the difference it's made is to hear from the 3 students who are here to say thank you by sharing some of their life story. And so it's my pleasure to call the first student speaker, Michael Smith. Michael.
I have to get ready. Thank you, donors, supporters of the COCC Foundation, friends, and all the amazing people here at COCC, changing lives. I'm here because of you. I really want to get personal with you. I'm going to share some personal triumphs, some tragic mistakes, some humorous anecdotes, and some downright surprising moments. These stories might make you laugh, you might cry, but ultimately, I hope you will get a better sense of who I am as a man, as a husband, as a father, as a friend, and as a student. This dream of college started nearly 2 decades ago. As a high school student, I was more worried about surviving than I was of thriving. My family moved a lot during those years, so being able to get a strong footing and press forward was at the time a huge challenge. Being the new kid is never easy, but being the new kid 3 or 4 times is downright devastating. By the time senior year came around and graduation, college seemed like a pipe dream. Something to wish for and think about, much like the mythical unicorn people tell stories about and believe that it's true, and yet I will never see it. And yet here I am. I promised myself in 1996 that I would graduate from college. So, well into my journey, I am on my way to accomplishing that promise. COCC being the start of all things great. This institution has helped me thrive as a student. As a person, it has allowed me to find my voice and to take charge of my destiny. COCC has allowed me to once again love learning and has truly changed my life. Because of the Foundation's generous gift, your generous gift, I can not only attend college, but I am successfully fulfilling a promise I made so very long ago. Your gift has allowed me to concentrate on my academics, not only thus changing my life, but the life of my kids and my family. I have 2 children, and because of your generous gift, I get to see them on a daily basis, tuck them in at night, and sing them bedtime songs. Before your gift, I had to travel all over the West Coast for work, being gone weeks at a time and trying my hardest to make a living, and oftentimes not succeeding. I was a hardwood floor guy, and at the time there was little or no work in Bend for someone with my skill set. So I had to leave to find work. The last time I left, I was gone for 14 days. Only 14 days, I told myself and my family, and it was going to be okay. I told them it was a short time and that everything was going to be okay. But it wasn't a short time, and it wasn't okay. That was the longest, hardest 14 days I've ever experienced. I have very, very young kids at the time, and when I returned 2 weeks later, my son, who couldn't speak before I left, was talking in complete sentences. My daughter had grown what seemed like 10 inches and was talking about boys. And I couldn't believe, and I couldn't think, but teenage years already? I'm not ready. You're not ready. And that was the last time that I left. And just like that, things changed. I was able to find work part-time at a boutique inn as a front desk clerk. And I started taking classes, first as a community learner. The first class I took was yoga. It was hugely rewarding to learn something new, to be a part of a class, to drive up to the COC campus every other day. Starting that winter, I jumped in. I was able to attend college full-time, work, and see my kids every night. It was and is hard to find all the time I need to accomplish all the tasks before me, but I am, and I will. Your gift has added flames to this fire, sparked my passion and determination towards continued success. I truly feel like I have a support group, an amazing group of individuals standing behind me, supporting me, pushing me forward, and allowing me to be successful. Soon I will graduate with an AA degree in computer technology. I plan on continuing my education and transferring to OSU of the Cascades and graduating with my bachelor's degree. In my 36 years, I've spent so much time trying to find a place to call home. I hated having to leave Bend and my family to leave to find work. I've found my home, and I will continue to live, work, play, and enjoy all that Central Oregon has to offer. My family has found a home. Ultimately, I look forward to bringing business to Central Oregon after I graduate, creating jobs and success. To be able to give back to the community that has given me so much, I look forward to sitting with you in the near future as a contributor to COCC's foundation. You've done this. You've instilled this desire to do more, to give more, and to be more. I've made a promise to myself and my family that I will never leave again. Central Oregon is my home, the place I live, the place I learn, and the people here are nothing short of truly amazing. Thanks again for your amazing support, your help, your kind words, and for living here in Central Oregon, because I can't think of anyone I would want more as a neighbor than the people here in this room. Thank you.
Michael, thank you. It's my pleasure to now introduce to you Kayla Pruitt. Kayla.
First, I want to thank all of you for the scholarship opportunities that you provide to students. This year, I was awarded the COCC Foundation Scholarship, and it helped me more than I could even imagine. My drive and my goals all spark from my mom. She developed MS when I was the age of 14, and that was the same year that I started my very first job at Subway. Starting work at such a young age taught me how to manage money and time. This took a lot of stress off my mom because from here on out, I bought all my clothes and my school supplies. When I started high school, I joined the Central Oregon First Robotics team. And the first year on the team, we got to go to the national competition as well as the regionals that we went to every year. In robotics, I learned a lot of useful skills like teamwork, communication, marketing, and even how to build a robot in 6.5 weeks. By my senior year, I was a co-captain, and I formed my personal motto, "You can do anything if you set your mind to it." That year, I also pushed myself to stand up to one of my personal fears, talking in front of an audience. At one of the regional competitions, I represented my team and spoke in front of the large crowd, and not to mention the hundreds of people watching the live stream. I did mess up terribly, but all that mattered to me was that I did it. The summer after I graduated high school, my own medical problems had caused me to quit my job at Subway. By then, my mom had been working for 2 years and was trying to push past the symptoms of her MS. This put a lot of stress on her, but she was doing it for me. Since the 4th grade, I've loved math and numbers. And throughout high school, I started liking engineering as well. When it came time to pick my major in college, I stuck with math because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. My freshman year in college at COCC, all I had was the Pell Grant. All the extra money that came to me after my tuition was paid went to books, gas, and the necessities we needed around the house. Spring term of my freshman year, my mom's MS got worse. She had to leave her job because the job required her to be on her feet every day, all day. The end of the term was hard, to say the least, and because of that, my advisor asked me if I had ever applied for the COCC Foundation Scholarship. She told me a lot about it, and I went home that night and applied. That July, I got a letter in the mail saying that I had received the scholarship, and it changed my life as I knew it. I didn't have to worry about gas money to get up here, or what books I could go without buying every term. School was not a stress to me anymore, besides the stress that comes with being a student. I made my decision to stay in Bend when I started college, and I did this so I could help take care of my mom. I want my mom's life to be as easy and as good as possible, and in order for me to do that, I needed an education and a career in Bend. At the beginning of spring term, I switched my major to business management. To keep it short, math just was not for me anymore. I ended the last term, my first term of being a business management student, with 2 A's and a B. These had been the best grades I've had in college yet. I found something that I really enjoyed learning about, and I love business management, not only because the management side of it, but learning how different kinds of businesses work and analyzing the upsides of each interest me a great deal. Believe it or not, even the math behind taxes and loans pulls the strings of my interest. Because I plan on staying in Bend, business management increased my job opportunities tenfold. I'm actually getting a wonderful job with many opportunities, partly because I'm a business management student. As you have heard, this foundation scholarship has helped me a great deal in the time that I needed it the most. The foundation scholarship is a renewable scholarship for future years, and because of this, I won't have the stress of knowing that I won't be able to finish my associates in business management. The security of knowing this takes the burden of stress off of me, which leaves me more time to focus on important things like family. So to end, I would like to thank you again for doing such wonderful things for students, and this contributed to the furthering of my life, not only benefiting me, but my mom as well. For without her, I would not be half the young woman you see today. Thank you.
Kayla, thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce our third speaker, Michael Morrison. Michael.
First of all, I would like to tell everybody how much of an honor it is to be able to stand up here and speak to all of you at once about how much you have changed my life. I would like to start off with a quote that I've read recently that really inspired me to share with all of you. According to Adam Smith, a late philosopher of morals and political economy, the real tragedy of the poor is the poverty of their aspirations. For as much truth as this quote may say, I have to ask all of you then, what is the poor supposed to do with these aspirations if there are not any opportunities for them to take them to? As a child, I've had the unfortunate experience of knowing what it is to live a life of poverty. I've lived in camp trailers, cars, homeless shelters, and in living rooms of anybody that would take us. As an adult, I thought it was impossible to break the cycle that I was born into, and I believe that the promised social mobility that our country touts regularly as the American dream was nothing more than just a dream. I understand that I'm not the only one with a past like mine. Like Michael Smith, he and I have a lot in common. And I know there's other people out there, and it pains me deeply. But what truly keeps me up at night is knowing that there are those who are in poverty right now that have retained their aspirations, but they've been forced to give up because of the lack of opportunities for them to succeed. I'm here to express to all of you how I believe that you're all a bridge between aspiration and success. You're all making it possible to make the American dream an American reality. I would like to first share with you about how school and what school was like for me before college. And then I would like to express what your compassion has done for me and how it has changed my life and enabled me to have these experiences here at this college. As I've mentioned, I was raised in poverty. My mother, sister, and I moved around a lot, and I was always a new kid in school, and this made it very hard to make friends. In addition to this, I was also the shy kid at the back of the class that would duck whenever the teacher called upon me. Due to these hardships, I eventually gave up on school. And when I did go to school, it was nothing more to me than a place of shelter, a place to eat, and a place to stay warm. It wasn't until I reached my junior year in high school that I discovered my aspiration. During one of my lunch breaks, I overheard a group of kids talking about how many credits they had left and that they might not graduate. And this worried me because I haven't even thought of that. So after hearing this, I later discovered that I too was not going to graduate. As a junior, I barely had enough credits as a freshman to qualify as a freshman. Upon this realization, something shifted inside of me. I didn't want to be a failure anymore. I felt like I had screwed up my entire life. And understanding this, something erupted inside of me for the very first time. Passion. For the first time in my life, I felt passion, and I knew what I really wanted. I had the power to change the cycle of what I was born into, and I was going to change it. I am changing it, and I'm going to graduate. By the end of my senior year, when it was time for my class to graduate, I fulfilled all of my requirements and graduated in time with my class. You see, from the moment that I decided to graduate, I dedicated all my time into after-school programs and nearly 2 years of summer school to reach my goal. And I succeeded by the skin of my teeth. So yes, it would be easy to say that where there's a will, there's a way, but that simply is not true. Aspiration alone can only bring one to the opportunities that are available. If it wasn't for the compassion and support that I received from my after-school programs, I would not have my diploma. Now, I didn't rehearse for this or plan for this, but one of the individuals that went out of his way to help me graduate high school while he was working at COCC is Bruce Abernethy. Not only did he help me graduate and get my diploma, but after I got out of high school, he made sure that I was supported. And I asked him, how will I ever repay you? And he's like, it's not about repayment. You're an investment. Do something with yourself. And I'm doing it. Thank you. After graduating, oh yes, I used to have long hair, a long time ago. Now I have gray hair and very short. After graduating, I desperately wanted to go to college, but I was terrified of failing. So I decided to get the best job that I could until I felt ready to go to college. I worked in a mill until it closed. I worked in construction until they laid me off. And I made an attempt at owning my own business. I ran 2 martial arts schools until the economy forced me to close my doors. It took all of these experiences for me to finally get the courage to go back to college or go back to school. Now that I've shared with all you my experiences before arriving at college, I'd like to share with you how you've all given me the opportunity to change my life. I'm presently a psychology major here at COCC that is looking to earn a doctorate in social psychology. I aspire to do research and statistics. It's amazing, I think. I've been a student here for just a little over 2 years now, and fall will be my last term. I served as the psychology club president here on campus for a little over 1.5 years, and during my time we ran countless amount of community service events. I was also the second speaker in a symposium earlier this year at the Western Psychological Association discussing the changes that we're making here on campus with Dr. Philip Zimbardo from Stanford University. In addition, I've just recently received my first letter congratulating me on making the Dean's List. I've done a lot in these 2 years, and I stated earlier, aspiration alone can only bring us to the opportunities that are available. In conclusion, by telling all of you my story, I hope I have provided a clear window into what it's like in the lives of those that are impoverished, and then how struggling in life can set a child and an adult severely behind academically. There are limited opportunities in our society for those that are born into poverty to reach or to achieve social mobility. If it wasn't for the Foundation Scholarship, if it wasn't for all of you, every single one of you, there'd be no way I could be up here talking to you and going to college and feeling my life change and showing my family and everybody in the world that this is possible. You've made it possible for others like myself that come from poverty to have the opportunity to not only change our lives, but to change our family's course in history and model to our future generations that change is indeed possible. If it wasn't for you, my dream would have had to stay a dream, and so would my future children's and my children's children to come. I sincerely and deeply thank each and every one of you for the generosity and understanding that you've all shown, not only myself, but everybody else that receives these scholarships. Thank you.